It can be at the studio. So the only requirements for being at the studio is you wear your mask and you stay in your assigned box. Because if we go out of our boxes and aren't CDC safe and everything, I'm gonna have to not do those at the studio anymore. It'll only have to be virtual. Does anybody have any questions for that? Oh, Avina's 1 year off.
There we go. Don't worry, we'll be able to continue to do these hopefully as time goes on. So when you hit your birthday.
Yeah, Avina, we'll definitely be able to. I know your birthday is next year, I believe. So you'll be 12 soon enough, and we'll continue to do those every month. And if you guys have any suggestions, like Miss Nicole or Miss Becky or Miss Maya, just let me know for teen nights or the teens. If you guys want to do something special, just let me know. It just has to be where we're all safe with everything.
I agree. Better safe than sorry, right?
Yeah.
And that reminded me, the age thing reminded me last night at the family class, we have this new student named Dorothy. And I was talking about being pressured by, especially as a teenager, being pressured. And I said, you know, like Dorothy, she's a teenager. And afterward, mom's like, she's 11 years old. And I was like, what?
She is so tall, huh? And she acts mature. She's very tall.
Yeah,
she knew the theme of the month.
I saw her on live.
Oh my gosh. From Donovan to everyone. Oh, that Donovan. I'm thinking the other one's like, no way, I know Donovan, but that's Donovan D is old enough. Okay, you guys. So let me, continue with our stars. Miss Becky Davis had 6. Who else has some stars or character building sheets to turn in? I'm looking. Oh my goodness, you guys. Donovan, sir? Unmute yourself, honey.
I did a day of Miss Katie's challenge and Master Lappin's challenge.
Awesome. Keep that up. So for Miss Katie, remember, collect 7 with your parent's signature. And then and then you could probably use the same sheet of paper for Master Lappin and just continue writing all these down, because that's really cool, Donovan. Good job. I love that.
And then Donovan, I have a new one up. So this week's challenge is to do an extra chore for your parents or help someone out in the family do an extra chore. Make sure you write that down and you will get stars for that as well. I know Amber's already done some, Emily, and Mr. Dylan Tenhagen.
So,
yes, ma'am.
Miss Ahern, how do I earn that? I want a star too.
So Miss Nicole, how you can earn one? What about? So I guess a chore for you would be maybe helping Xavier or Evelyn with their karate or something like that, because I know sometimes it's a chore to get them to practice.
Yes, it is. I will work on that one because I want a star too, because I do a lot of chores.
Yes, ma'am. Or maybe just, because I'll count the one I know at the studio yesterday or the day before yesterday, you picked up that trash that was in the parking lot.
Oh, yes. So if anyone saw that, please, I was so worried about the parents. So I pulled up and parked in the parking lot, and there's a beer bottle right where I parked by my front tire. And I was like, holy moly, who's throwing their beer bottles? And it was bright blue, obviously a beer bottle. And I picked it up, carried it to the studio and threw it away. But I'm thinking, holy moly, if any parent sees me, I hope they don't think I'm actually bringing my beer bottle in. Drinking on the job. I'm not, I promise. Okay, so as long as we don't have any more stars, Miss Becky was the only one with 6. Congratulations, Miss Becky. Let's give her a clap for being amazing.
Thank you. And can I just mention again, don't forget, for all of our younger students, tomorrow at 11:30, I'm reading a story, so I hope to see everybody on there.
Yep, and even some of our older kids, we can read a story too, maybe learn a lesson. It'll just be fun. Yes, but we do need to remind everyone. I remember now. Test is what? Saturday. Okay. So if you are any type of white or orange, it doesn't matter if you're testing for green, but you're just white and orange period right now, you're testing at 9. If you are green and brown in any way right now, you are testing at 10. I'm sorry if I screwed you up somehow, Avina.
I'm so confused.
Why,
The first
honey?
time you said it was 9, and then someone else said it was at 10, and then someone else, and then now you're saying it's at 9 again.
Miss
So
Avina, what belt are you testing for?
Green, ma'am.
Green.
but
So
she's
your
cur-
test is you're testing for green, so you're currently orange belt with a white stripe.
Yes, ma'am.
You will be there at 9. So show up at 8:45 and you can be at the
Okay.
door with mask on and everything at 9:50 at the door.
I
Or
am
8:50,
virtually
sorry, 8:50
testing.
at the door.
Oh, you're
Virtual
virtually okay.
testing. All right, just be ready.
Yes,
We're
ma'am.
sorry if we confused anyone, you guys. And then, of course, if you are red and above, you will be at 11. And if you are testing for blue, though, blue in particular, you do need to show up at 10 because your test, of course, is much longer. So you'll test for a longer testing period than everyone else. Yes, Hayden.
So I'm testing for brown. When do I go?
If you're green or brown, you're at 9, honey.
Okay.
10. She's green, so she's going for brown, so she'll be there
10.
at 10.
I'm in 10. Oh my gosh, this is sometime my brain. I mean, I know the answer was 10, but 9 came out anyway. It's 10. It's 10. It's 10. Holy cannoli, because you're green or brown. And then
Okay,
Weston too. Weston, you're a junior, so you're at 9 also, or 10. Holy crap! Someone just told me to stop talking. Okay, but I can't because I'm leading this. So I'm going to switch over to share a screen. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, so yes, Luca, what's your question, honey?
I'm a camo belt and I'm going for white and orange. What belt? I mean,
9 a.m. and that's correct. Okay, so we are on Psychology of Winning, Chapter 6, Positive Self-Image. Who could give this stab for us? What do you think that means? Even if you didn't read the chapter or the review, what does a positive self-image mean? Just unmute yourself because I can only see 3 of you right now.
You see yourself in a
Positive
positive way.
self-image is seeing yourself achieving your goal.
Okay, so both of you are correct.
in a
Both of
positive
you are correct.
and having a good positive mindset.
No, yep. So you're seeing yourself in a positive manner, and of course, you're seeing yourself achieve your goals, right? Or being
Yes.
successful. So the antonym, meaning the opposite of the word we're looking at, is dark imaginings, worries, neurosis. Neurosis means you're constantly stressing and worried and anxiety filled over something. So if you're constantly thinking about all the bad things that could happen, it's going to get ingrained in your mind, unfortunately. So I have a good example of this. My husband, Mr. Paul, he constantly is thinking of all the bad things could happen. And to him, because he's 5 years military, now a criminal analyst, not the most positive job, I have to tell you, that he's constantly think of all the bad scenarios that could happen in situations. And then he's also trying to solve them. Well, what if none of these bad situations pop up in the first place, right? You just stressed yourself out with all the bad things that could possibly happen when none of it happened in the first place. So I'm constantly on his case to not even think of those things. So the synonyms of a positive self-image, meaning there's similar meaning, would be to have a synthetic experience, visualization, just like Mr. Weston said, and creativity. Now, what's something synthetic, you guys? Someone tell me what does a synthetic mean? Just that word itself.
Man-made.
Yes, handmade, man-made. It's not a natural thing. It's not the real deal. Like when you have, say, a real leather jacket versus what is the other type of the faux leather jacket, something like that, you know. And what he means by a synthetic experience, hopefully he'll get more into it on this slideshow here, is that you are imagining what you want. So it's not real right now, the reality, but you're hoping to see it occur, and as a result it will occur. So a loser self-talk in this instance is, I see me as unattractive and average. Do any of you just want to see yourself as, I'm just okay? No, we need
No,
winner
ma'am.
self-talk. I see me changing and growing. Okay, meaning I'm pretty cool. I'm pretty awesome because I work hard. In all sorts of things, and I know I can make improvements. So our proverb is, what you see, what you think you see is what you see. Okay, so what you think you see is what you're going to get. Oh, I said that wrong. What you see is what you get. Holy cannoli, you guys. I didn't have a good night's sleep. Maybe that's my excuse, right? Should we have excuses though? Okay, your self-image is either your life handicap or your autopilot in winning. Okay, you guys, what in the world does that mean? What does he mean by life handicap? Your self-image is either your life handicap. What does that mean, your life handicap?
Ma'am, may I take it?
Of course.
I think that what this means is that the way you see yourself can either be why you fail or why you win.
Yes.
If you see yourself as a loser or you see yourself as someone who won't accomplish anything, you won't. And so that's what he means by life handicap.
Yes. So if you constantly feel like you see yourself and everyone else must see you like that too, as just an out and out loser, guess what? You are. Because that's all that's going to become of your life. Remember, nothing is by luck or by chance. It is, everything's in your control. So you are already telling yourself that I'm a loser and therefore I can't do anything. Don't do that to yourself. Where else have we seen that? Something that almost the same exact ideas from what other book that we studied, you guys?
What to say when you talk to yourself.
Exactly. Should you talk nasty about yourself like that? No way. Instead, you want to be the autopilot for winning, right? Your image, because you think you're pretty great, I'm pretty awesome, I know how to get things done. Even if I don't know how to do it, I'm going to learn and figure it out, right? And as a result, you are going to succeed. Now, remember, everyone has a different standard of success. Some people, their type of say monetary success is, I just want a nice little house and a car that gets me from my job and where I want to go, right? And they're happy with that kind of success. While someone else wants a mansion and a Ferrari, I guess. That's not me. I have to say I'm not that type of person. I wouldn't want those things. So remember, we all have different standards. So you shouldn't begrudge or judge someone, because we're not supposed to do that in the first place, if their success isn't such a high standard as yours. I just wanted to add that in. Anybody else want to say something about this? How your self-image is either your life handicap or your autopilot for winning. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next slide. Winners act like winners, imagining with pictures, feelings, and words the roles they want to play. They give themselves a preview of coming attractions. So what you see is what you get. Who you feel is who you are. Okay, so you need to imagine all those things you want in your life. You need to imagine them. Do you see yourself with a great career? Do you see yourself with an awesome spouse and family who does so much fun things together? Do you see yourself with lots of friends, or even just a core group of friends where you can just have so much fun and relax with each other? Okay, or the opposite, of course. You see yourself struggling through life. So you need to literally imagine in your eyes, what do you want in your life? How do you want it to go? And now put it into action. Do not think of any of the negative possibilities because your brain simply can't understand. If you start thinking of the negative, your brain's going to take that as fact. So only the positive self-imagery coming to mind. What do I want throughout my life? So a winning black belts have developed a self-image which sees success, growth, and achievements, and winning is the most likely outcome. So we have our big test coming in 2 days, you guys, and almost, I think all of you are testing, except for maybe our tiny tigers, of course. What are you telling yourself? What are you imagining about that test on Saturday?
I'm imagining that I will pass.
Okay, what else? Someone tell me. I know you all have thoughts about this.
I know when I was testing at my black belt test, I kept telling myself that I'm going to do the best that I can. And that's all I can do. I wasn't like pressuring myself to be the best of the best. I'm going to do the best what's right for me.
That's right. You have to do what's best for you. Remember, that's what our last chapter was about, the positive self-expectancy. You expect the best out of yourself. And this is what this self-image is. You need to imagine the best of yourself. And I hope everyone is. I don't want any of you thinking to yourself, oh God, I don't know if I'm going to make it. Okay, I'm going to pass, or I'm going to vomit on the mat, or I'm going to fall, or whatever. I want you to think the best of yourself for your own good. That's what we all want for you. All the instructors and all the other students and parents, they want the best for all of us. So here's our notes. Each of us from childhood weaves our own intricate web of self-images out of the beliefs born in response to every thought and experience. Every humiliation and triumph, every loss and win. Children's self-images are very pliable and susceptible to external guidance and criticism. This comes in the form of negative programming, in which in turn becomes negative self-programming. Again, this is exactly what we were talking about from what do you say to yourself? Okay, so as a child, you are constantly bombarded on all sides from your parents, your teachers, even your friends, the bus driver, whoever, so many people, all those people surrounding you. And do they help you with negative or positive programming along the way? And that's how they start to see themselves as a result of all that programming that's surrounding them. So now that you're getting a little older, you can take more control over who you allow to program you. Okay, so keep that in mind. So hopefully if you do hear someone say something kind of negative about you, maybe they didn't even mean it to be negative, but it was, you know, like the teacher telling you that you're never going to play an instrument because you kind of suck at it. You need to make sure you turn it around. Hopefully you're learning to turn that around. Don't let them program you negatively, okay, you guys? So, and here's a really famous study. If you take any psychology class in high school and then college, this psychology like study comes up in every single book. It's so famous. And it gives you such a good example of how children, how easily they are programmed. And to an extent, I think we adults are programmed also if we allow ourselves to get sucked into social media and into the news. So you need to be on your guard at all times to turn around that negative programming that they're trying to throw at you. So here's the study. So this was in the 1980s, which now, oh my gosh, that was like 40 years ago. where a teacher, an elementary teacher, told her students. Now, apparently, she got approval from the parents because I don't think she would have been able to get away with it otherwise. Because it's kind of crazy, actually, to modern day standards. That she told all her students, "Oh my gosh, I just read this new study. You guys need to hear about it. It's so fascinating." She said, all you guys were with blue eyes or light eyes, like mine are green, that you guys naturally succeed in life. You're just that much smarter and more intelligent. Unfortunately, all you brown-eyed kids, I'm so sorry, but you just don't have the natural tendencies to succeed. You're more likely to fail in life. Guess what happened? And they even made little labels too. They made their own little labels and put it on a little cord around their neck about, I'm a blue-eyed kid, and then these are the brown-eyed kids. So everyone knows immediately, without even looking them in the eye, which group they're in, right? And okay, let's stop drawing, please. That means you're not focusing. I want you to focus and make sure you're learning and growing yourself. So for that week, all those blue-eyed kids out of nowhere are doing so well on all their assignments and on their classwork and on their participation and their testing. Doing amazing. Guess what happened to the brown-eyed kids? They totally started declining. They're just doing horrible on their work because guess what someone told them? You're not going to succeed, so why bother, right?
Yeah. Their teacher told them they'll never be successful in life.
That's a huge lie. That's a huge lie.
Yes. Well, she then switched it around.
And that's a huge negative sentence too.
Oh yes, very negative. But remember, this was actually an experiment, though this is considered an unethical experiment nowadays. But then, so the next week, she comes into her classroom and she's, oh my gosh, you guys, it was a misprint. I totally misspoke about it. It's the brown-eyed kids who are more likely to succeed. And the blue-eyed kids are going to, not do so well. So guess what happened? The flip-flop happened, right? So what we tell children in particular, is really important. So you need to keep that in mind. Those of you who are still young and you go to school or you have younger siblings, you need to watch your words and you need to be kind and respectful.
That is just not right.
Would you want to be the person who kind of ruins someone's day, week, or year of life because of something you said? You told one kid at school, dang, you're ugly. And he took it to heart, right? Don't do that.
No, ma'am.
Okay, we got to keep those things in mind because not everyone is learning like us about how to take that control of our programming and switch it into the positive. Let's go to our next one. Okay, so, I'm sure you've all heard this. And again, if you take a psychology class, you would hear about this too. About you have your conscious mind, that's you thinking, you're awake, you're thinking and making decisions, okay? And he's calling this the judge. That's the word he uses, Dr. Whaley. Versus, we also have our subconscious mind. That's your brain working continuously day and night, and you're not even really realizing it's happening. He calls that the robot. Now, you would think that the judge would rule over the robot, right? No, it is not that way. It is the robot or the unconscious mind that actually rules over the judge or the conscious mind. And it's simple. It's your programming. How have you been programmed? Is it negative? Is it positive? A mixture? So it's all those experiences throughout your life that your subconscious keeps in mind all the time. It's constantly filtering through there, things you automatically do. Remember, you automatically breathe and your blood automatically pumps, right? So same thing like your subconscious mind or your robot, it's automatically doing things. So your judge will supposedly make decisions that you barely think about because of your unconscious or subconscious, I should say, mind. So for instance, if you get really stressed or anxiety stricken or worried, think about to yourself, what do I automatically do when I happen to get stressed or worried? Just think in your mind, do you automatically do something? Maybe you've worked really hard and you don't allow it to happen, and you take deep breaths and calm yourself down. Or maybe you start to eat a lot of food, or maybe you start yelling at people. Okay, that would be part of your subconscious or your robot, things that you automatically do that you didn't really make a decision about. Okay, that your judge should be making a decision, but it's not, it's your subconscious. How about if someone came up to you, you're walking down the sidewalk and someone bumped into you on accident, not even on purpose, totally on accident. What would you automatically do? Again, your subconscious is doing all that work that you don't even realize. What would you automatically do? Would you, I'm the type of person, I'm not sure if I was the one who accidentally bumped into it. So I would actually say, oh, I'm so sorry, right? But what might other people do that you've seen? Do they immediately push someone? Do they immediately yell at them? All sorts of things. Think about it. We all do something automatically in so many situations. We don't even realize that we made any type of decision to do it. So keep that in mind, you guys, because we want to train ourselves to make smarter choices. Remember, we don't want to react. We want to, what's the word I want?
Respond.
Don't react. Respond. Good. We actually use our judge to make a response instead of automatically reacting. Reacting would be the subconscious robot. Responding would be our conscious judge. So let's see what our notes say here. Okay, for illustration, let's call the conscious thinking level of thinking the judge, and the subconscious, I basically all said that. Oh, okay. So during every moment of every day, we program our robots, our subconscious mind, to work for us or against us. And as we learned in the last book, all it starts with is positive self-talk. Remember, you take control of your programming. And I hope all of you are. I hope you're learning enough to start taking control of your outside influences and your inside influences with yourself to make that change, that positive change. So your best selfie. This isn't in the chapter, by the way. This is funny. Does taking selfies lower your self-esteem and self-image? What is there? So what do you guys think? Anyone? What do you guys think? What does taking selfies lower your self-esteem and self-image? Anyone? So let me confess something. I've taken one selfie in my whole life, and it was because I was at the eye doctor place to get a new set of glasses. So I took a few selfies to send my husband so he could help me make a decision between like 3 different pairs. They were so awful because I clearly don't know what I'm doing. And I've never done it again, ever. I've never taken another selfie after that one that I did for the eyeglasses. And I see these Facebook things that say, it was one recently, go to your last selfie you took to answer a question or something. So I'm not sure. What is the result of taking a selfie when the sole purpose is to compete with your friend or followers for the sake of making yourself feel better? Should you compete to make yourself feel better, you guys?
No, ma'am.
I'm not sure about that. Yeah, that's a little. How about when you just want to have fun and express your feelings of happiness without putting high value or validation from your peers? Focusing on how you feel alone about a photo. That's not bad. I don't see anything wrong with that. If you want to take a photo because you're feeling great, right? Maybe you could even look back at, you know, in the future, look back on that photo. Man, I was having such a good time. And it helps you remember that event, that experience. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But competing with others on social media to make yourself feel better, that sounds pretty negative, I think. So my sister once told me, my sister's 2 years younger than me, and she once told me, when this was when she was younger, that she had such crappy friends, and she did. She had those type of friends, you know, that did drugs and drank and got, you know, kicked out of school. And it was because they were so bad, they made her feel better about herself. Don't do that, you guys. According to a new survey, spending too much time on social media is still proving to be bad for the self-esteem. Taking selfies, on the other hand, might have the opposite effect. So it turns out selfies can have a positive impact on your self-esteem. That is, if you approach taking and posting them with the right attitude, because you want to be able to re-experience that great experience or event in the future, not because you're competing to make yourself feel better. Now, why do you guys think your positive self-image goes down from taking part in social media on a very long-term basis? Like, you do it all the time, you're even drawn to it. Why do you think, you guys?
I think some of it has to do with because you see what other people are supposedly how they're living their life, which a lot of times I think is one way, and maybe they're living their life a different way, but that's just my opinion. So I think you're in total competition with other people.
Yeah, and you think they must have something better than you, right?
I do. I think a lot of people do that. Me, I don't care, but I think some people, you know, want to have this perfect life, and so they only post or, you know, take the pictures or say the quotes that make them want to make their life better than maybe it is all the time.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So keep that in mind, you guys, when you're on social media. What is it? Don't take it as the real thing going on. Maybe it's not everything. You're not seeing everything. Oh, so your homework. There's actually more in this chapter, but I guess she didn't want to overwhelm you guys. Okay, so sharpen up the expressions of your life. Since our self-esteem is the visual, conceptual display of self-esteem, take stock this week of those images which you display to yourself. Which of those images could use a Photoshop touch-up? Yourself, your clothes, your auto, your home, garage, closet, dresser drawers, desk, photos, lawn, garden, etc. Meaning there's so many things, right? Make it happen. Take a picture with you in front of it, before and after. Visualize that every day and keep it that way all week long. Okay, so what they mean a Photoshop touch-up is, are there things yourself or your home, something surrounding you that could use some improvement? You know, it hasn't been, we haven't paid attention to it lately. It's gotten super dusty, literally and figuratively. And I could make some improvements on that. You know, is your garden full of weeds? Or have you been taking really good care of it and you now have lots of flowers and buzzing bees? Is your dresser or your closet such a mess you can barely find your clothes? Or are they all dirty in a pile somewhere? Could you weed out clothes you no longer wear or don't fit? Is your junk drawer so full you can barely open it and then you can't find what you were looking for in the first place? Do you have your photos are just scattered everywhere around your house, but it would be really nice to organize them into a book. There's a lot of things we could do to help ourselves in some way. And what they want you to do is to take that before and after picture. So take a photo of the thing that, wow, that could use some attention and improvement. And then give it the attention and improvement it needs and take a photo afterwards so we can see what a great job you did. So you guys have multiple days to do this, right? It's Thursday, and we'll be back to review on Monday. So you have plenty of time to think about what you could do. Like all you kids out there, there's a chance your room, your closet, your drawers could use some help, right? Okay. How about your parents' car? Could you help your parents out? The extra chore that Miss Katie has given you? Maybe it's a disaster. Is it full of garbage? Yeah. Or is it really muddy? Help them out some way. Okay. I know you guys have this. We all do. We all have something we could improve, right? Okay, you guys, does anyone have any questions to ask? Oh, wait, someone had their hand up. Here, let me, or wait, no, I got to keep it up. But someone had, where'd it go? Whoever had their hand up, just unmute yourself and ask. I think it was Michael or Donovan. Not. Okay, everyone understands the homework, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good job, you guys. Okay, never mind. You guys are just making faces on it on the chat. Okay, if we don't have anything else, then I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Remember, come back on tomorrow at 11:30, same channel, because Miss Becky is reading.
Yes,
And hopefully
ma'am.
we'll have a nice time. And we have our
Yes,
tea
ma'am.
night Friday, test Saturday. Yes, Miss Katie.
Okay, so I have something to say. Everybody that's typing in the chat, I've already asked you nicely to not do that. So I'm asking you again, when someone is speaking, you are to listen to the chat, to Miss Nicole, Miss Pillion, Miss Nicole, Miss Becky, anybody who's talking. There is no need to send all these emojis and argue back and forth with each other. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
please
Yes, ma'am.
remember to use your 7 magic words when you're speaking with someone. It's very, very important. So
Yes.
I understand that some of you were asking people to stop. So say, please stop and pay attention. It's very important, guys. You're not going to get credit for these mat chats if you're not paying attention.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, keep that in mind, you guys. Remember, you are future black belts, and we want you to improve leaps and bounds. And you can't do that if you don't take the time to make those improvements by listening and seeing what can I do in my life.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you guys, have a
Bye,
great weekend.
everyone.
Be back on
Bye.
tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye, Nicole. Good job.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye.